In the city-state of Aelio, Hardross Aelio reigns as king, his authority etched into the scars that stretch across his body. Hardross was accustomed to chaos, having been enthroned amidst a bloody coup 30 years ago. That night of treachery had left his queen and son slain, with Hardross rising to power over their still warm bodies. Yet, peace eludes him, for beyond Aelio's borders, the empire of Mephius lurks with its own ambitions. Presently, Aelio faces looming threats from the north, where another king, Elijam of Tora, dispatches his son, Aemon, with a force of reinforcements to safeguard their realm. Aemon and his cousin, Hardross's son Aelshin, command their armies with strategies shaped by the twin goals of defending Aelio and avenging family bloodlines. Meanwhile, inside Aelio, distrust seeds its own rebellion. A chamberlain approaches Hardross, his whispers carrying promises wrapped in ill intent. Hardross's face reflects anger as he addresses the chamberlain. "You vixen," he accuses. Talk of deceit and sedition follows, casting a shadow even over familial ties. Hardross's thoughts wander to his physical and political scars. The younger officials surrounding him seem braced for a different kind of battle, imbued with an ambition that tempers their caution. Hardross's grip over his realm tightens, and his thoughts drift to the daughter he has tried to protect, a daughter whose spirit reflects his own blend of defiance and duty. Northward, Axbazgan, the Governor-General of Tauren, stands amid legions of soldiers and dragons. Beside him, his strategist Ravan evaluates the dense swarm of dust kicked up by their moving ranks. Ravan's sharp gaze is critical. "Do you believe your uncle can seize Taulia alone with this force?" Ravan questions Axe, eliciting a candid response filled with determination from the young leader. Amid tactical discussions, the mood is punctuated by an undercurrent of tension. Axe's past decisions as a leader are examined, and Ravan sees promise but also peril in them. A complicated loyalty binds Ravan to Axe, a loyalty edified by shared history and Ravan's awareness that his young master's pride could either fuel their victory or lead them to ruin. In Mephius, a crowd of soldiers and courtiers gather for an audience with Emperor Ghoul. The emperor is steeped in contemplation over external alliances, while rumors circulate, a princess's defiance, a consort's whispered intentions. The palace buzzes with talk of shifts in the political landscape, where every decision bears multiple consequences. Chiaro, a warrior from Tauren, reflects on past camaraderie and the juxtaposition of dream and reality. His bond with Emperor Ghoul stretches back to their shared youth, yet time and circumstance have distanced them. Bonds that once seemed firm are tested by power, as Ghoul's policies keep changing with the tides of political maneuvering. In a landscape where power is cobbled together by alliances, shaky at best, the presence of a looming threat acts as a reminder that peace is indeed a fleeting treasure against the backdrop of ambition and vengeance. Talia, with its mercenary companies and strategic placement, becomes a pawn in the chessboard of warring states. Amidst these tangled political webs, Duncan, the mercenary commander, navigates unique challenges. His unit, under the control of the 5th Army Corps, must balance recruitment with reputation, integrity versus necessity. Even as they train warriors within Taura's territory, tactics must evolve to counter not just immediate threats, but also growing internal pressures. Throughout these shifting sands of alliance and enmity, power struggles play out with personal and communal ramifications. Leaders are weighed by their scars, tangible relics of past battles hardly distinguishable from the shadows cast by current alliances and enmities. The air is thick with an ominous expectation, one that foretells of the blood yet to be spilled in defense of fractured sovereignties. Junon stands before Talcott, his voice cutting through the atmosphere with a taunting suggestion about the mercenaries replacing Tauren soldiers. Talcott is skeptical, retorting with disbelief. Junon insists, claiming that if ordered to participate in the selection, there's no choice. Talcott worries about the loss of his mother and being used carelessly in the king's schemes, while Junon pushes him to join training. Talcott, surrounded by lingering thoughts, considers the daunting replacement selection. His concern is palpable. He speculates about the uncertainty of his role. He notices a fellow fighter, examining his physique and experience, noting how Adalba, being less capable, would likely lose in the selection. Frustration bubbles up, and Talcott's irritation grows, surpassed only by Orba's silent confidence. Orba, dressed in training gear, silently stands beside Gilliam, ready to spar. Talcott observes them, conscious of the whispers around the arena. He wrestles with the idea of speaking up, as Orba relentlessly trains others. Talcott's mind is a whirl of emotions, annoyance skimming on the edges. The crowd of mercenaries watches with a mix of disdain and curiosity. Over a meal, Shikyu sympathizes with Orba, understanding his position and realizing the challenges in their line of work. The burden of living under a false identity is immense for Orba. The conversation turns toward their paths and choices, and Orba reflects on his unresolved past, particularly Ghoul Mephius' betrayal. Orba's immersion in military training is fraught with complexity. Memories remind him of the treacherous terrain of his history, and the presence of Taulia soldiers intensifies his internal struggle. Orba's thoughts return again and again to his past, where betrayal and vengeance are vivid shadows. "Doesn't your chest hurt?" Shikyu questions, but Orba remains silently poised. During their conversation, they ponder the enigmatic nature of Talihar, whose fierce loyalty and mysterious ties could sway the balance of their current dynamics. Treachery and fear dance through Orba's thoughts as he considers the delicate threads intertwining his past with the present. As they walk back, a soldier intercepts them, demanding adherence to protocol. The soldier recognizes their faces but holds back due to past enmity. Orba cautiously negotiates interactions, aware of the precarious nature of mercenary allegiance. An underlying tension simmers amid smiles and scrutinizing gazes. Inside the princess's residence, there's a layer of unfamiliarity intermingled with silent greetings and a veiled acknowledgement of Orba's remarkable abilities. As the palace dynamics unfold, laughter and conversation swirl, concealing undercurrents of tension and secrecy. Orba maintains his fortitude, silently masking emotions beneath his calm exterior. An encounter with Princess Esmina brings a fragile, emerging complexity. Her soft-spoken manner and her inquiries about Gilliam resonate with Orba, who's left grappling with the past's shadow over current narratives. Esmina's concern is palpable, as she seeks clarity on personal alliances. Her graceful appearance belies the sharp awareness hidden within her questions and quiet observations. Esmina's sudden shift to a sorrowful, introspective demeanor highlights layers within her. Orba's interaction with her wrestles with the weight of silence, leaving Orba contemplating the tangled emotions and choices surrounding him. With every exchange, the conversations are imbued with unspoken dramas from both their pasts. As words are spoken, a world of unexpressed thoughts and unresolved futures lingers in the air around them. A sudden scuffle with the guards interrupts the meeting with Esmina. Orba's departure is entwined with directives and caution, mirrored by Buwun's concern for orderly retreat and the strategic guidance he provides. The atmosphere brims with military command under Buwun's careful direction. The narrowing paths between royal edicts and mercenary realities grow clearer as tensions rise. 9 days later, Orba settles into the rhythm of his newfound life, his actions flexing to the military demands. The austere discipline contrasts with the tumult of his history as he reflects on Tauren's chaotic reign, its past glory tarnishing under current events. As they pass through the Taurani wilderness, conversations unravel about the mythical Tauren. Tales of the era linger in whispered reverence, their narratives gleam with the mysticism of dragons and legends. Orba listens, his thoughts a river of contemplation against the steady noise of companionship. His musings stir as they recall the legendary elegance of the bygone era. The journey presses forward, distant echoes of dragons hinting at mysteries yet unearthed, as Orba remains gripped by a silent resolve standing against the ever-unfolding landscape of conflict, loyalty, and deception. In the midst of a bustling and tense environment, a fort stands resolute at the peaks, acting as a beacon of defense against any force daring to breach the mountainous terrain. Mephius, overseeing this bastion, watches as a group of reinforcements arrives, led by the diligent Buwen. The atmosphere is charged with anticipation as the predictions about an impending attack ripple through the ranks. Taulian's forces, seen as the aggressors, are expected to press against the defenses any day now. As the preparations escalate, a sense of unity forms among the soldiers, each warrior determined to face whatever threat may come. Buwen displays his leadership, quietly ensuring the men are battle-ready and morale remains high. His presence calms those around him, reinforcing their resolve. Meanwhile, Orba, once a crown prince incognito amidst soldiers, reflects on his complex journey. He wasn't actively seeking news, yet tales of his reputation have unknowingly reached his ears. The rumors about Aelio shimmer with intrigue, as many believed him dead in battle, a twist neither expected nor fully understood by Orba himself. Venturing towards Aelio, Orba's party discovers changes. The city, contrasting Taulia, holds a raw beauty despite its somber outskirts lined with neat stalls and carts. The untouched nature of Aelio, devoid of excessive militaristic influence, suggests a quiet resistance to domination. Soldiers here act with distinct honor, a testament to the self-control and rigorous discipline honed for the battlefield. Shakyu and Gilliam, moving alongside Orba in the streets, notice the local customs regarding women's attire. The stark difference between Aelio and Cherik becomes apparent, reflecting broader cultural variances across the regions. Here, the liberties afforded to women, as indicated by their relatively free attire, spark curiosity. Shakyu, herself far from conventional feminine standards, contemplates these norms. The group encounters a marketplace, alive with movement and sound. Their interactions are casual until a debate on meat quality escalates into an altercation. Soldiers, including Kurun, a fierce mercenary, face off with stalwart locals. The tension snaps as Stan, a companion of Orba, intervenes, deflecting violence with his agile combat skills, neutralizing an opposition that quickly disappears. Back within Aelio's castle halls, Buwen finds himself in discourse with King Jala. The king, an embodiment of war-hardened wisdom, holds court with unwavering confidence. Buwen, though subtly troubled by recent reports, aligns diplomatically with the ruler's stance, understanding the intricate balance in maintaining peace and power. Amid these maneuvers, the atmosphere buzzes with news of captured miscreants being brought to account. Grey Gun stands at attention, embodying the epitome of respect as he sheathes his sword, recognizing the delicate interplay between authority and restraint. Grey Gun's wisdom prompts a reflection on the fragility of alliances in this perilous geopolitical landscape. Meanwhile, amidst royal court proceedings, Marilyn rises with dignity, asserting her intention to ensure a peaceful resolution. Her voice commands respect, resonating with the sentiment of order and stability. This declaration jolts the atmosphere, elevating the tension yet soothing it with assurances of diplomacy. Navigating through these challenges, Marilyn escorts Orba and his companions not to opulent chambers but to a sanctuary, an implication ripe with complexity. Her intent is clear, to protect them while unraveling the complicated webs of fate and allegiance surrounding their lives. Orba quietly contemplates the fragility of his circumstances, feeling the acute weight of his murky past and uncertain future. As the sun dips below the horizon, emotions swirl within Orba. Memories of his mother's final moments pervade his thoughts, mixing pain with nostalgia. The city's vibrant noise, interspersed with haunted silences, echoes the narrative of battlefields past. Orba absorbs these moments, ever conscious of the lurking dangers that seem to shadow every step. With Stan, Talcott, and Gilliam by his side, Orba ventures into the busy streets, paying attention to the multitude of faces that blend and blur before him. Thoughts of the young queen's courage are persistent, threading through his musings as he grapples with his pivotal role in the unfolding drama. An internal dialogue seizes Orba as he acknowledges the looming adversities. Reflecting on his past, he recognizes both the chains and choices that bind him to this path. Amidst familiar faces and cryptic strangers, Orba's allegiance to his ideals and to those who count on him remains unwavering. The narrative weaves a complex tapestry of duty and destiny, setting the stage for a confrontation that will test the resolve of warriors and royalty alike. As each character confronts their truths, the undercurrent of loyalty and betrayal promises a journey fraught with peril and potential, pushing them towards an uncertain horizon where power, politics, and personal vendettas intertwine. The tension in the air is palpable as tales of past conflicts and fierce rivalries echo across the ancient battleground nestled around Lake Soma. This fertile land, coveted by many, hides a history of bloodshed between the nations of Mephius and Garbira. The powerful echoes of rulers of old, like Hardross, who sought alliances and expanded their influence over these lands, resonate through the souls of the warriors gathered there today. Hardross's lineage is deeply entwined with the land. His son Elagan, now a memory, stood witness to his father's ambitions when Hardross proposed a union with Cheirik, aiming to secure peace and prosperity over the farmlands and pastures near the lake. Yet, even with such nostalgically woven memories, the unfinished tales of power and betrayal linger, casting shadows on those who now stand ready for battle. The clashing destinies of two nations are close to unfolding as troops from Mephius ready themselves to confront the formidable Red Hawks, the mercenaries led by Grey Gun. The mercenaries had orchestrated an uncanny maneuver, appearing at the hills surprisingly early. General Buwen, observing from a vantage point, is perplexed but quickly devises a strategy to draw attention and break the enemy lines. In the heart of this strategic planning stands Orba, a warrior burdened by the weight of survival and past identities. As he stands poised with his sword, he murmurs encouragement to himself, capturing the essence of desperation and determination. "I'm going to live," he repeats internally, an affirmation amidst the chaos about to unfold. The plan is simple yet perilous: launch an assault to distract the Red Hawks, and grant Garbara's army the opportunity they need. The stakes are high, and Buwen's troops brace themselves for a charge that calls for immense bravery. Orba and his compatriots charge down the hill, a blur of motion surrounded by the chaos of war. Arrows fly, swords clash, and the mercenaries and soldiers find themselves locked in a dance of death. Orba's movements are swift, driven by an intense focus to stay alive and seize victory. He maneuvers through the battlefield with a singular objective: cut down the threat posed by the enemy's stronghold. Alongside him, the cries and grunts of battle merge into a cacophony that fills the valley. The intensity surges as Orba encounters Molord, the Red Dragon of Caedney, leading a fierce cavalry charge. The two warriors engage in a lethal duel, sword against sword, strategy against brute force. Their clash is a spectacle of skill and unyielding will. With every parry encounter, the stakes are etched deeper into the fabric of the war-torn landscape. In a moment of daring recklessness, Molord attempts to seize control, his attacks relentless and ferocious. Yet Orba's calm focus amidst this storm of fury turns the tide. With tactical precision, Orba deflects Molord's onslaught, each swing of his blade drawing closer to the victory they desperately needed. Triumph is palpable as the tide of battle shifts. The mercenaries retreat, driven back by the unyielding force of Orba and his fellow soldiers. Their morale shattered, they scatter, leaving the victorious cries of Mephius' warriors to echo across the hills. Amidst the scene of victory, doubt and foreboding linger. The true nature of Greygun's machinations remains shrouded, as does the looming presence of the infamous Garda, a spectre known to manipulate from the shadows, the puppet master of many a battlefield. And so, as the sun sets over Lake Soma, Orba's gaze turns to the horizon, his mind still teetering between the victory at hand and the battles yet to come. They stand at a pivotal moment, their fates entwined with the dust and blood of the hills below, as they brace for the next move in the deadly game of power and survival. In the heart of a fierce battle amid the Codern Hills, Orba stands as a beacon of determination. The air is thick with the clash of swords and the cries of men. Amid the chaos, Orba's thoughts are purely on survival as he fights alongside his comrades, shoulder to shoulder with those he trusts. There is no room for error, as every movement could mean the difference between life and death. At a critical moment, Orba charges forward with a horse, galloping with abandon to reach a key position. His wound throbs with each movement, but he pushes past the pain, driven by a fierce resolve to protect those around him. The enemy's numbers are overwhelming, but Orba's determination only sharpens with each foe that falls before him. His mind flashes with thoughts of vengeance, of survival, and of victory. Nearby, a stalwart archer, Buwen, fights with grim tenacity. His presence among the troops inspires confidence in those around him. His aim is true, and with each arrow, another enemy falls. The bond between the group, fortified by battle and hardship, is unbreakable. They fight not only for themselves but for each other. On the battlefield, it becomes clear that strategic maneuvers are necessary to turn the tide. Orba quickly assesses the situation, barking orders with the authority he has earned. It's a desperate situation, but there's no room for hesitation. As the battle rages on, Orba's thoughts flicker briefly to his past. The memories haunt him, driving his every action. There's no turning back now, the only path is forward. Driven by a fierce desire to claim victory, he keeps moving, one breathless step at a time. Even as the battle concludes and victory seems assured, the soldiers are reminded of the cost. The wounded are many, and the dead even more so. The victory is bittersweet, a testament to the harsh nature of war. But there is little time to mourn. Orba, leading his men, makes the decision to retreat to more fortified grounds, setting their sights on the Belgana summits for safety. Shifting away from the immediate turmoil of battle, the scene transitions to the intricacies of Aelio's political and social landscape. Amid the shifting alliances and tenuous loyalties, Lesvius is deeply engrossed in maintaining the delicate balance of power. He must navigate the treacherous waters of political intrigue to secure not only his own position but the welfare of his people. Curan's unexpected return stirs the pot further. His presence is a reminder of past alliances and current suspicions. The landscape is fraught with danger, not only from outside forces but from within. Loyalties are questioned, and every word spoken carries weight. There is a palpable sense of tension within Aelio as the population bears witness to the effects of years of war. Tensions simmer as resources dwindle and desperation looms. It is in this climate that Grey Gun makes his move, leveraging fear and force to consolidate power. His ruthless actions send ripples through the city, a chilling reminder of his resolve to dominate. Marlene watches the unfolding events with a cold detachment, aware of the threat Grey Gun poses yet unable to act directly. She is a figure of regal poise, cloaked in the authority of her position yet acutely aware of the danger surrounding her. Her interactions with Grey Gun are laced with an underlying tension, each exchange a battle of wills. The kingdom holds its breath as whispers of an impending attack circulate. Reinforcements from Gardas' army threaten to tip the scales, and the people of Aelio brace for what feels inevitable. Yet amid the fear and uncertainty, there is still a flicker of hope, a belief that perhaps through grit and determination, peace can be achieved. As the chapter closes, the looming threat of war casts a long shadow over everything. The stakes are higher than ever, and as each character steels themselves for the challenges ahead, they carry with them the weight of what has been lost and the hope of what is yet to come. Buwen struggles to process the situation after learning of Lasvius Group's alignment with Taulia. A sudden confrontation between Orba and Lasvius reaches a boiling point. Orba remains silent when asked about seeing a familiar face, which leaves others wondering. It becomes apparent that Orba's aloofness might conceal deeper insights. As tension escalates, the voices of desertion and allegiance mix in the air, mirroring the instability within the group. Gilliam acknowledges the difficulty of their predicament. Despite his combative nature, even he admits that fighting this battle seems futile. Don't go too far, he cautions Orba, recognizing the thin line they walk between duty and survival. Orba contemplates these words silently, his thoughts veering towards the possibility of facing the king. Lasvius remains steadfast in his newfound loyalty to Taulia, though this has placed him at odds with Orba. Confusion abounds, and it is clear that the soldiers' exasperation grows as their circumstances become increasingly untenable. Awaiting a decisive strategy from Lasvius, who now commands the troops, creates palpable tension. When soldiers rumor the loss of friendly forces midway, despair threatens to engulf Lasvius. As each hour passes, the weight of impending confrontation grows, spreading unease amongst the ranks. A spark of hope ignites when Shikyu approaches Orba, whispering about a secret plan involving Taulia's reinforcements. It's an idea fraught with risk, requiring secrecy to ensure execution. Orba tentatively explores this option with Lasvius. He emphasizes the gravity of their situation and the potential power shift involved. Orba's plan involves drafting a message, which should reach Taulia and invoke a swift response essential for their survival. The plan's outline hinges on certainty, yet its success remains uncertain. Meanwhile, Axe reports the advancement of strange troops near their position in Taulia. A mix of panic and anticipation fills the air, with the possible influence of opposing strategies becoming a looming threat. He stresses the importance of maintaining resolve amidst the chaos. As soldiers continue to prepare, aware of the critical state, Orba dispatches Era to deliver an urgent message. The overarching strategy relies heavily on the timing of these communications. Shikyu, serving as the bridge between commanders, becomes a vital asset in executing this plan. However, the true intentions and loyalties become a tangled web, presenting obstacles at every turn. The atmosphere remains tense as troops from both sides converge. Amid the chaos, disguised attacks play out under the watchful eyes of those witnessing from the fortresses. The sound of clattering hooves against stone becomes emblematic of the charging forces, ready to clash in a fog of uncertainty. Strategically placed ambushes and ploys aim to destabilize the advancing enemy. As Lasvius and his allies press forward, the awareness of their precarious position doesn't escape them. Orba's plan dangles by a thread, tenuously held together by the goodwill of allies and the cunning execution of strategy. Despite mounting pressure, the value of this calculated gamble becomes apparent. Orba monitors the situation closely, giving out directions to his men while maintaining a calm exterior. Sheik's arrival marks a crucial turning point, carrying vital intelligence and assurance of the necessary moves being made. Finally, as reinforcements from Taulia inch closer, the possibility of reclaiming the terrain and tipping the scales in their favor grows. The decisive moment hangs in the balance, fraught with the potential for overwhelming victory or catastrophic defeat. In the midst of chaos, a plan begins to unfold. Moldorf, among other esteemed generals, stands confused and frustrated. The signs of defeat and turmoil are written across their faces, each bearing the weight of cities lost to the relentless advance of Garda. The generals, known for their city-state's prowess, now find themselves bewildered by the speed and unpredictability of their adversary's strategy. Moldorf declares, "Is this army heading for Cherik?" The tension is palpable as the unexpected movements of Garda's forces threaten the stability of the land. An even greater concern looms: Cherik, if targeted, may fall as swiftly as the rest. Far away, a soldier named Yamka finds himself rudely awakened by the sound of movement outside his tent. As panic sets in, he's informed that a large group of soldiers is advancing towards their camp. Under the cover of darkness, a troop numbering in hundreds, led by Lasvius, draws ever closer. Moldorf takes command efficiently, his voice cutting through the night. This sudden advance forces everyone to arm themselves and prepare for an unexpected confrontation. But as dawn breaks, the scales of power shift rapidly, fracturing any sense of peace in the camp. Lasvius, a calculating strategist known for his fierce loyalty to the Bagzan house, has his own plans. He keeps meticulous control over his troops, whose discipline might very well be the key to overthrowing their enemies. "We will push the soldiers from Ilma fortress," he instructs, launching a decisive assault. In the fortress, Orba, disguised among Lasvius's soldiers, stands ready. Underneath the guise, tensions rise as he attempts to navigate a world rife with danger. The plan is precise and ruthless, targeting the rank and file while creating chaos in the enemy ranks. His mind races with the possibilities of betrayal and victory, each thought as dangerous as the last. Orba's group approached the fortress cautiously, their eyes scanning for opportunities. When a mercenary approaches to verify their identities, Lasvius's quick thinking and a display of control prevents any initial conflict. They blend into the shadows, lying in wait for the opportune moment. Far removed from the battlefield, King Greygun finds himself ensnared in a different kind of turmoil. Nervously pacing a tower chamber, he hears troubling news: alliance promises shattered, and his grip on power weakening. The dread of betrayal bites hard, but the plans barrel forward, unstoppable. Suddenly, a soldier bursts in, delivering dire news of fires and chaos engulfing the city streets. Greygun's brow furrows, a mix of anger and disbelief overtaking his prior tranquility. "Be bastard," he curses under his breath. The realization that these soldiers might be defectors, traitors aligned with Aelio's royal family, sets his blood boiling. The tension peaks when Lasvius, unyielding and determined, faces off with Greygun in a brutal confrontation. Sword and spear clash violently. Both warriors lock in combat, their skills tested harshly. Wounds accumulate, rage fuels their strikes, and yet, neither back down. Despite the violence, it is Greygun's persistent resilience and Lasvius's cunning that leave each scarred physically and emotionally after their encounter. Amidst these diversions and battles, Aelio's queen, Mariline, finds herself isolated in the royal quarters, reflecting on the swift changes unraveling around her. The allegiance with Cherik offers both challenges and opportunities, albeit fraught with deception. She must carefully navigate the political labyrinth to protect her family and kingdom. With a heavy heart, Marilyn contemplates her past decisions, knowing the survival of Aelio rests on seemingly impossible choices. Her son, King Grey Gun, stubborn and proud, often ignoring her counsel, now faces the consequences of his impetuous rule. In the city below, as Marilyn steps into the streets to address the crowd, a clamor arises. The citizens are torn, their loyalty wavering amidst accusations of betrayal and cowardice. Stones and fruit fly, barraged against the soldiers attempting to shield her. The queen's presence inflames as much as it tries to soothe. As the tumult grows, she recalls the promises of old alliances, desperately trying to forge new bonds that will secure both a future and peace for Aelio. Her steps grow heavy as threats of Garda and internal strife threaten to consume everything she holds dear. Yet, against this encroaching darkness, Marilyn's resolve strengthens, determined to navigate Aelio through the storm. Back on the battlefield, Orba and his armed allies slide further into enemy lines. Their disguises intact, they execute the strategy meant to fracture Lasvius's defense. Minds tire, patience wears thin, but with every step they close the circle on a hidden victory. Tensions hit a crescendo as the unfolding battle above ground plays out violently. Margarid's fervent desire for control and homeland often clashes with Lasvius's iron resolve and calculating approach. Both know full well the progress towards Garda's ultimate goal must proceed unchecked. By now, the seeds of defiance against Grey Gun's tyranny have been sown deep within the hearts of Aelio's soldiers. Strengthening their defenses, they brace for an inevitable retribution, each individual fighting not just for land but for justice that has long been denied. In preparations to reclaim what was lost, the soldiers' steps grow firmer, their bravery taking root in the face of an impending storm. Grey Gun's arrogant stance stands weakened yet unyielding, clinging desperately united with figures like Orba, whose loyalties weave uncertain paths. Side by side, their destinies inch ever nearer towards a decisive collision, forging a future yet unwritten. In the heart of chaos and conflict, Lasvius stands before Orba with a grin, his left arm wrapped in a splint, the aftermath of a fierce battle. He jests about nobility, quipping, "You talk like an aristocrat," while emphasizing his pure desire to return to the battlefield. War is in the air, and Lasvius seems to thrive in its intensity, disregarding personal injury in favor of seeing his enemies flying. As they converse, Orba's eyes drift to the castle ramparts, now alight with a dazzling white glow, signaling a turning point in their struggle. This light isn't just a beacon, it symbolizes hope and steadfast resolve. Orba, seemingly indifferent to Lasvius' words, remains stoic and focused on the task ahead, the weight of leadership heavy on his shoulders. He is driven by a single, compelling notion: "I'll bring Garbira down." It's a declaration of intent, resonating with determination and grit. Lasvius, despite his injuries, joins his comrades, eager and fueled by a warrior's spirit. His willingness to push past physical limitations embodies the commitment shared by the men around him. These warriors, bound by duty and camaraderie, are gearing up to confront the Tauran allied forces. As blades glint and armor clinks in the brisk air, the sense of unity is palpable. Everyone is aware that this battle may very well determine their future. Orba senses a shift within himself, an inner resolve growing stronger with every decision he makes. The battlefield stretches out before him, a daunting arena where lives are altered and destinies are forged. Yet, he remains undeterred, his heart set on victory. Despite the looming uncertainty and the specter of death, he knows that his path is now clear. The light from the rampart serves both as a guide and a herald of what's to come, an epic confrontation that will require every ounce of courage and strategy they possess. With the stage set, the soldiers move like a single, cohesive unit, preparing to unleash their full might upon their adversaries. The world around them narrows to this singular moment, where their actions could change everything. They are driven not just by duty but by a fierce belief in their cause, ready to face whatever fate has in store. The battle ahead promises to be ferocious, but with resolve steeled and hearts aflame, they are ready to face it, head on.